Thank you, thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you. I don't know how much you should say that word thank you. They say I'm a guest of honor, but I've discovered there's a guest of honor in our midst, and I want to honor them first, even before I make my speech. For me, the guest of honor today is Mama Josephat Moses Ochieng. I know Mama spoke in Jaluo, maybe she doesn't read English. I had carried a book to give to Josephat, but I'm giving this book to his mother. Through her, so many other people read this book. This book is called Solomonic Economics, Wisdom of Plenty, which is the epitome of what she did for her son by saying, let me do everything, but let my son go to school. Mama Josephat Ochieng, come and receive this book. I don't even want to write your name the way, because in our culture, we don't call the mother with the real name. We just say Mama Josephat Moses Ochieng. Mama, Mami Mari, this is yours.
Wapi makofi tafadhali. Let's give Mama a mighty hand clap. We can do better. We can do better.
I have just written in that book as a dedication that a wise woman cannot mother poverty. Has she mothered poverty? The second person to reward is the parent representative. And I put here clearly that you cannot represent parents in parenting poverty, but prosperity. So she's representing your parents. You are the hope of your parents. And she cannot represent these parents into poverty. And I want to urge her to continue with that mission. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Let's give her a mighty hand clap tafadhali. Thank you.
The last, we have professors at this podium, but I'm not giving them this book because Jesus came for the people who will send the message. Professor gave you a lot of philosophy. He already has them. Me, I'm giving it to the people who matter here the most. And the last person I'm giving this book is the student representative of Macmillan College. Even I've not written your name. You remain in this book forever to have represented the students in this graduation. I'm sure that's an honor. Thank you very much to the school administration for that. So the student representative, are you here? You come and take this book from me because you remember this day that represented us. And the dedication is, you cannot be the chosen to represent the students into a jobless market, but to prosperity. So do not represent these people to the jobless market. I will wish you become the first person to be employed. If not, you have my card in there. Thank you.
Let's clap for her tafadhali.
So before I start my official speech, I want to say that I want to thank everybody here in this podium, the faculty. I want to thank Mr. Josephat Ochieng as the founder of Macmillan and the director. Surely there's direction. I want to thank even your friend whom you taught, who is a police inspector. I've been arrested 12 times. And I still love the police. That is quite imaginable. And I want to say that the chief guest today is Mama Josephat Ochieng. Co-chief guest would be Macmillan students of 2025. And I know that I had come with my wife. I invited her to come to the podium and she says it's not her day. So maybe I can force her now to stand and just wave you. She has come with her friend. She's traveled all the way from Voi. She is a musician. She was conducting music in Voi and she traveled. That's why she arrived late. Please, can you just wave to them where you are? Herima Chao. Yeah. Every man's wife is beautiful. So everyone goes to the market and you get the most beautiful woman. After you get that one, you expire. You do what? So my expiry date is the day I got married. I expired. So even if you consume me, you are consuming an expired good. So you make your choice. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion with your colleague called D. They are very shy, but I'm sure when they go to do their gig in music, you can't believe how they are confident. So I start by saying the principal and founder member, Mr. Jofas Ochieng, esteemed faculty, proud families, and most importantly, the Macmillan College class of 2025. I must say that from how I've listened here throughout, Macmillan College is not aiming to be the best business or university in the world, but they are actually aiming to be the best training college, medical college, and university for the world. You know, there's a difference to be the best in the world and the best for the world. Even me, I told my wife, we are not trying to be the best family in the world, but are we the best family for the world? Are you the best professional for the world? Are you the best graduate in the world or the best graduate for the world? Are you the best woman in the world or your best woman for the world? Are you the best man in the world or the best for the world? Are you the best teacher in the world or the best one for the world? This world has produced the greatest and iconic professionals and graduates, but they chose to use their education to rip off their own country. Some of the biggest corrupt leaders are actually the most gifted finance experts. They use financial engineering to make themselves rich while leave their country. Some medical professionals will pursue wealth, will not pursue what they said, compassion for the world. So which kind of graduate are you? Are you the best graduates for the world or the best graduate in the world? And the choice is yours, and that decision, you heard what Lucy said, choices, chances, and the changes. So you make the choice. And the choice you make will be seen some years to come. And it will be very clear whether you are the best in the world. Someone says the most educated, but maybe not the richest person in this country. I'm proud maybe, because maybe if I am the best for the world, long live that dream. I stand here today on the magnificent stage, a testament to what is possible when resilience meets opportunity. But before I talk about this, let me take you back where it all started. My journey begins in a place some of you know, a place that shaped me profoundly. That's Kibra. Specifically, in the heart of Katwekera, for those who know that place. My father was a catechist of St. Michael's Catholic Church, Otiende. For this, his tireless service, he earned only a meager 1,500 a month. And I'm the sixth of 11 children, meaning my father gave birth to all the 12 apostles except Judas. And that we could make a football team, and my mother and my father a coach, which means we were brought up with a godly man and extraordinary woman. In Kibra, we lived in a Mabati house, a tin house, one-room house. Let me repeat this. Not one-bedroom house where each child had their own space, but one-room house. You know, there's a difference. A tiny corrugated iron shed in Katwekera where all 13 of us, my parents and us 11, shared a single space. Now, my mother understood the stark reality of our situation. She knew that she could not afford the prestigious schools the children of the rich attended. So she decided to bring that great school to us at home. By 6:30 p.m., dinner was done. 7 p.m., everyone was seated at the largest piece of furniture we owned, which was not a sofa set. It was not a magnificent dining table, but our study table. My mother's goal was very clear. She birthed 11 of us, she said, so that one would make the breakthrough, and then the rest would be pulled up. We didn't compete against our classmates in school. We competed against our mother. She was the marking scheme. She would use those weighty encyclopedias. You know them, they are called Top Mark. The test papers there. And she would compete, pushing us to believe that the world, not just our classroom, was our competition. To put it another way, our tiny one-room shack in Kibra was the launching pad for my academic career. How do you compare that with Macmillan? And that push, that belief is why I finished my KCPE with over 193 marks, more than the next student in the entire Sierra County, earning me a scholarship to prestigious St. Mary's Yala. We started from Kibra. That was the beginning. How about you? The bottom line is this. Circumstances is where you start. Destiny is where you choose to finish. Are you looking at your circumstances and making decisions out of them, or you are focusing on your finish? The choice is yours again. Now look around. You have earned this certificate of your hard work. But I know what cynical voices are saying right now. They told you the job market is dead. They are saying there are no opportunities left. They said you are graduating into a jobless market. Well, let me say to you, you have a certificate that says you are world class. And an opportunity cannot wait for a certificate. But a certificate can surely wait for an opportunity. And I must tell you, this certificate will open the door for you. But it will not keep the door open. It is the character and performance that will keep this door open, thanks to Macmillan for putting that spirit in you. Take an example of marriage. They say there are no more good men and women left out there. And yet every weekend, churches are fully booked with couples committing their lives to one another. As some people said, there are only beaches left and there are only dogs left in the market. Do not believe those voices. Life operates in an economy of opportunity, not of scarcity and cynicism. Walk into every interview from today. Treat every application as if it is a divine appointment. Walk into an interview room as if God has sent you. Let them even say you are arrogantly walking in. World class doesn't mean being like Singapore. World class for you is becoming the best clinician, the most empathetic medical professional, the expert your community relies on. That journey, ladies and gentlemen, begins today. Thank you, Macmillan Medical College. Thank you, Mr. Josephat Ochieng, the principal and founder member, for handing these keys to these young ladies and gentlemen. My post-high school life was not a straight line to success. After high school, I was hungry, literally hungry. I slept on an empty stomach for 2 consecutive nights. One of them was on the transition to the new millennium. That was on December 31st, 1999, when I had just finished high school in St. Mary's Yala. My family's lifeline sent through the wrong person because there was no M-Pesa, didn't exist by that time, failed to reach my mother, and therefore, on 31st of December, we were just watching each other. There was no smoke at home. On January 1st, the year 2000, I hitched on a ride on a fuel tanker to Nairobi from Busia, then to Mombasa. And 2 weeks later, that's what tells me there's something between me and Josephat that makes the two of us. I later set up my first business in Mombasa. This business is still thriving today, and it is a school. Just what can you believe? And here you're your mother. I'm talking about my mother. My mother made me professor, not my father. Parents who are here today, what will you be to your children? And you graduates, you'll be parents one day. Which kind of a parent will you be? But allow me to share a moment of vulnerability after all that looks so successful. This was a detour in my destiny. I was once destined to become a priest. In fact, I finished all the studies that priests do. That's why you hear about 5 degrees. Later, I became a lecturer, and I was the academic director of MBA programs at Strathmore University. But fate, or perhaps a stubborn streak, intervened. I was dismissed from both seminary and later on dismissed from Strathmore. Some of you are very aware. Dismissal from Strathmore, some of you know, is because of my stance that I believe that the current administration is not taking Kenya where Kenya should be. Forget about taking us to Singapore, because the flight to Singapore, I know at least is 8 hours. But we cannot even land in Mombasa. If you want to go to the moon, at least land in Mercury. So I refuse to believe the nice talk with no action. Show me your faith without action, but with my faith, I'll show you. With my action, I'll show you my faith. Imagine that embarrassment. A catechist son, a son of a catechist. Do you know how my father felt? The top student, now dismissed. You are not going to priesthood. You are no longer a professor in Strathmore. But that failure, that moment on the sidelines, did something extraordinary. It gave me a stage to reflect deeply. You sit there watching your wife and children. You won't see salary at the end of the month. Surely you must reflect as a man. Sometimes, just sometimes, in moments like this, in a moment of public failure, which some of you might fail, I realized I had to choose a tough path. I realized, as I once said, that I made tough choices when easier ones were available. The dismissal was not a dead end. It was a new beginning. Just like Jesus, be ready to embrace your cross, embrace the dark moments, and turn the dark moments into light. That is what will make you a distinguished Kenyan citizen, a distinguished global citizen. It was this reflection that paved the way for me to become a leading economist and governance expert. It made me to write the book called Solomonic Economics, which I've just handed over to some of you this afternoon. And eventually, it is what gave me the stage to address the world in New York, the world's financial capital, about the principles of Solomonic economics, and prove to the world that the world can only be saved through Solomonic economics rather than the other economic theories that they have. And on this, Hekima University has decided to set up Solomonic Institutes of Advanced Studies in honor of my academic achievements, just like Princeton Institute, Michael Porter Institute, among others. What I mean is this: don't fear the detours in your life. The challenges you face, the moments of doubts, the rejections, they are just the quiet intermissions before your greatest act comes to prove your worth. Some of you might be thinking of jumping straight into entrepreneurship. I know, because Mr. Joseph Ochieng has set up a hospital, has set up a school, and you want to do the same. But let me offer a piece of advice based on my journey. My advice is this: get a job first. Not just for the financial capital, but for the network capital. How else can I explain this? You cannot send an invoice to a stranger. Can you? You cannot secure a business partner from a pool of people you have never met. Or can't you? In other words, your network is your most valuable bank account. Build it, sometimes by working for people, because employers will give you a chance to experiment with their money. Some of you will burn that money, but you learn from it. How painful it is if you burn your own money. But I'm sure, Josephat, you burnt a few. I've also burnt a few. But it's better to learn from other people's experiences. Using other people's money, learn something. Gen Zs, I know we are a microwave generation. Even oven is too slow for us. Right? But the quality of the food in my mother's pot, Mama Ochien's pot, is sweeter than the food in microwave. I'm sure you know that. So microwave should just be used to kill hunger, but should not be a diet. No one drops out of the sky into a good career, ladies and gentlemen. You have to train for it, learn for it, and work for it. So don't think from the necessity of volunteering if you can volunteer. If that's what it takes to grow your career, volunteer. I know this myself. I volunteered to arrange books for a professor at Catholic University in the year 2007. Why did I do that? So that I can get access to his laptop, because in 2006, very few people owned personal laptops. And from that, I used the laptop to access internet. Very few people had full-time access to internet and a laptop. Professors here can tell you. And I used that internet to study and take a test called GMAT, Graduate Management Admission Test. And this GMAT test earned me a scholarship in 2008 to the 4th best business school in the world. I know some of you don't know. Some of you know Harvard. The business school where I studied is highly ranked than Harvard. But of course, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this to encourage you that imagine a child from Kibra being able to go to the 4th business school in the world. So why are you looking down upon yourself? And you're now sitting here in Macmillan. Very beautiful, colorful, well-dressed. I can see that's from Samburu. I don't know whether it's from where, but you'll tell us. The point I'm trying to make is, find the door and then use your elbow, if possible, if that's the only thing you have. Your mind and your grit to open that door. Once you know this is the door I want, use anything. Even if you begin with your teeth. Some of you are waiting for very powerful resources like a hammer or a bulldozer. They might not be there. Use what you have. What you do with your career today decides nothing less than the future of our country. Don't look at this as a personal decision. It's about our country. The future of Kenya, Africa, depends on you. Why am I trying to say that? I am aspiring to become the President of the Republic of Kenya. And I want you to build our country. I want you to be part of this journey. And I want you to be the most competent people to work with. Because our government is grossly incompetent and grossly corrupt. They cannot take the flight to Singapore. You can. Because Macmillan has sent people to Saudi Arabia, has sent people to the UK. They have never sent anybody successfully there. But they just say it. So it's you who don't give up because it is you. You must use the knowledge acquired at Macmillan to cure diseases like cancer and AIDS, to improve food security, to protect our environment. You are not just building a career here. You are building a nation. You are building our continent and the world over. And let me make this clear to you. No sitting on the sidelines or shrinking from our dreams. We have the courage to reach for it and resolve to work and fight for that we really want. I am a testimony to this journey. I was born and brought up in Kibra, and I later made the short physical distance from renting a tinned house in Kibra to owning a house in Lavington. That journey is physically very short, isn't it? But mentally, psychologically, emotionally, very long. I had to live here and fly across the Pacific Ocean, which is the widest and deepest ocean in the world. Cross the Atlantic, cross the Amazon, then come back to Kibra. Can you imagine that journey? Instead of moving from Kibra to Lavington, you cross that, then come back just to Lavington. So I'm saying that's what it means to be able to be physically focused on your dream. At the end of the day, no matter your background, your looks, or your family's wealth, none of that is an excuse to abandon for fighting for your promising future. None. There is no excuse for not trying, ladies and gentlemen. We have all been told the fairy tales of people moving from TikTok to billionaires, from selling charcoal to finding gold. But the truth is, success is hard. Hard work will not necessarily guarantee you success. But without it, there is no chance at all. You won't love every assignment. You won't click with every supervisor you have. You won't succeed the first time you try. And that is okay. Some of the most successful people in the world, including myself, have amassed a lot of failures. I have failed more than I've succeeded, but people only see the success. You can't let your failures disappoint you. You must let them teach you. Asking for help whenever things are tough in your clinical work, medical work, is not a weakness. See it as a strength. Your supervisor will like a student who asks for help. Look at this graduating square. Students who once sat here, graduating in Macmillan College because you are the 5th graduation, they sat there. Where are they now? They must be on top of their careers. They are now transforming life. So I ask you, class of 2025, these are the main questions. What contribution will you make? What problems will you solve? And what innovation will you bring to your country and to our continent and to the whole world? Go forth and be the breakthrough your parents have always envisioned, toiled for, prayed for, worked for, and even financed. Go forth and choose the path less traveled. Because in Macmillan, it's a way to learn, it's a mark to live, and a world to transform. Go and earn your respect. Secure your prize and make the world a better place. Go, 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 class of 2025. Congratulations. God bless you. God bless Kenya. And God bless the whole world. Thank you.
Makofi. Let's be upstanding tukimpigia makofi. Tukimpigia makofi our chief guest tafadhali.